ladies and gentlemen, welcome back with the Jeff Vanderbeck here with once again the lovely and talented Jill Dotson, who wears more hats than anybody has heads for. We're at the Visit Pikeville Now podcast, and I want to welcome back Jill. Jill, welcome back. You once again are shining bright and are a bright star for the city of Pikeville, and you've had a lot of things going on lately and a lot of things to talk about. So tell me where you've been. What have you been up to the last couple of days? You've been playing golf, sleeping, taking a nap, or what?
I wish. No, we've been super busy. Our tourism team and several different entities within the city of Pikeville have been crazy, crazy busy over the last 2 or 3 weeks since we last spoke. We have returned safely and all in one piece from the Kentucky State Fair, which was in Louisville. We were there for 14 days, actually 15 if you count load in. And we had a wonderful time. We had a booth within the Pride of the Counties, a section of the State Fair, if you've ever been there. And it's where numerous tourism agencies, city entities, and all different things Kentucky congregate in one spot. And we get to tell all the great things about what Pikeville has to offer in our surrounding area. So we had thousands, and when I say thousands, literally thousands of people come through the Expo Center in Louisville over the 2-week time frame that we were there. And it was just wonderful to be able to, visit with some of our old friends that have come to see us for years, some new friends that have never been to Pikeville before, but have always wanted to be there, but needed a little more information.
Sure.
So we were able to hand out brochures, pamphlets. One of my favorite things that we do at our booth is we tell a story. So we tell the story of Pikeville. We have a large wrap of the cut through project. So we have a 360 camera that sits right in the middle of that. So when our visitors come by, they can stand on the platform, and the 360 camera goes around them and puts them literally in the middle of the cut through project.
I have seen that, and you know what? I saw that in action. Actually, this past time when you guys were there. So my question is, how it's kind of like an interactive booth.
It really is. Yeah.
And how much more impressive was that than some of these other? I mean, Pikeville's a little small town,
Right.
and really not much going. People don't think there's a lot going on. But how much more of an attraction, or how much more interest do you think you had than some of these other areas? Not that we're being competitive or nothing, but we are. Well, I mean, let's just
when you're there.
How much more competitive do you think we were? Or how much more did you think that the city of Pikeville stood out at that the state fair than some of these other towns?
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is really invest in your space. So you pick a good location and you pay for the space that you have there. So we have a 10 by 30 space that was completely full of things. So I think it was very competitive in that we did have a story to tell. It was interactive from the 360 camera that puts you in the cut through. Then just stepping over, we had a selfie cam that we take to a lot of different events that we do. But we also had one of our beautiful Pikeville iron benches there that wave at time.
Yeah, those were great.
Yes, we had that there that said Pikeville across the back. We had our Hatfield McCoy artisan bears that are very intricate and a big focal point.
How did you transport all this stuff?
Very carefully.
I was going to say.
We wrap them very
one
carefully.
bear at a time, right?
Yeah. And then also above the bears and the bench was our beautiful stringer lights that we have all through downtown on 2nd Street.
Right.
And then a miniature umbrella.
I was going to say, did you have the umbrellas?
We did.
Oh, that's
We did.
cool.
The umbrellas that we have are miniature versions of our large umbrellas that we have in the alley. So it really creates everything that people ask about and come to love about downtown right in that space. And then we had our information center.
Sure, that's great.
So it really was interactive. There was never a dull moment. We always had a line either at the 360 or the selfie cam, or at our information center, where we were able to hand out. This year we did something different. We did bookmarks for everyone.
Sure.
That were a little smaller, that had all the QR codes on the back of all of our entities on the back: tourism, Main Street, arena app, all things Pikeville. So when they got home, instead of flipping through large booklets or a mound of brochures they had collected,
Sure.
they're just able to pull out the bookmark that has everything on the front of it: the umbrellas, the trails, dinner and white, all of those things, and scan the QR code, takes us right to our Facebook.
And that's even perfect. I got a great story to tell you. the other day, I get 1,000 phishing emails and 1,000 text messages, and I don't know if I'm being gaslighted or what the deal, or what are they, catfished, or I don't know
Right.
what they call it, but I got a text message from somebody. I don't know who it was, but she says this text message says, "Hey, we're ready to go to the shelter. Are you ready?" And I'm like, this is the wrong person. You got the wrong number. And he says, "Oh, are you sure? Isn't this Lisa?" I'm like, "No, it's not Lisa. It's Jeff." I says, "I know who I am. I have no gender identity crisis, so I know exactly who I am."
And did you know who Lisa was?
No.
No?
So I said, "Listen," I said, "You've got the wrong number. I apologize, but please don't text me again." She goes, "Well, I see a 606 area code. Are you where you? I was in Eastern Kentucky, last about 2 months ago with my hairdresser friend." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I know most of the people around here." I says, "What did you think of Eastern Kentucky?" She goes, "I came there with my hairdresser friend and went to this little town called Pikeville." She goes, "I went to the Umbrellas. I went to this place called the Breaks Interstate Park. I went to this cut through thing, which was an amazing facility. I did the mountains are beautiful. It was everything. It reminded me of my hometown." I says, "Oh, that's great. Where do you live?" She goes, "I live in Seattle now, but I'm from Taiwan."
Oh, wow.
That's what I said.
That's a little different.
I said, "What part of Pike County is Taiwan in?" Because I haven't heard of that. And she says, "No, I'm Taiwanese, and I went there to visit. I went to Pikeville to visit my friend, and I am planning a trip to come back from Seattle and bring my friends to Pikeville to see my friend Jennifer, I think is what her name is, to visit more in Pikeville." I loved it. I loved everything about Pikeville. I can't wait to come back. I want to do the kayaking, and everything was beautiful. And I said, "I'm having a meeting with one of the tourism directors of the city of Pikeville, and I will mention this to them." She's going to save dogs or save cats or save something in Seattle, and they thought I was going to jump the bandwagon and go to Seattle and do that. But it was just so funny that this whole thing happened, and out of nowhere,
Yeah.
this 256 area code rings up on my cell phone. And like I said, who the hell wants me? Nobody wants me. I mean, I got the big nose. I'm Italian. I talk funny. But this person that was going to the shelter and just talked so highly about the umbrellas and how beautiful the town is and the flowers that are over. And I said, "Well, I know everybody who does that. So thank you.
Yeah.
And when you come back, please look us up at the News Express." So she was really excited about it and excited to meet somebody.
Doesn't that make you proud, though? I mean, when people tell you those stories, or
You proud. That's
well,
what I'm telling you for.
but when you hear it though, as a resident who, obviously you are from here now, although you
Another $25 escort.
you may be, but you just think about it when somebody tells you that they're impressed with where you live or how beautiful it is or how quaint or how sweet or whatever they use to describe, it just makes you have a sense of pride. And that's one of the things that we are always so conscious of, to make sure that not only our visitors come in and feel the way she did, but that our residents feel that way too.
Well, I think that, the big part about it is that we lose focus sometimes. I mean, last weekend there was so much stuff going on. You had the firemen, playing baseball with the first responders, which, by the way, I am glad those guys took those professions. So I saw the way they swing the baseball bat. They can't hit the blind side of a bar. I mean, Jesus Lord, they need some help. Good thing they could shoot.
You're not
their
going to
gun-
go pro anytime.
No, the good thing they could shoot their guns and climb ladders to
Right.
help people out. But I respect them. But it was a lot of fun kind of watching them. You had the Ram Medical Center going on. You had the tire cleanup going on. You had the tattoo festival going on. You had this, you had that. So much stuff going
And
on.
the state fair.
And the state fair,
Mhm.
but there were so many things happening in little downtown, and I was very impressed with all the coordination of things going on, of how it happened. So
There was a lot, and that's what we've talked within ourselves, so those of us that were at the state fair and who really dig in and make sure everything goes off without a hitch. There was about 10 of us that worked from day one to load out. And we rotated shifts, so like we'd take 2 days here, 3 days there, constantly. But the one thing that we talked about is that for some reason, probably our fault, that we had so many things going on and had to be scattered in so many different directions. So we did have the river cleanup. We had the softball game with a Christmas with the first responder on on Saturday, and then we have the tattoo convention, and then we had all the normal stuff that happened
Sure.
through the week. At the beginning of the state fair, we had a food truck Friday, a Main Street Live, a girls' night out, the Kiwanis convention in town.
Exactly. That
All
was
of that was
hard.
the
Sure.
first, right? The first Friday that we were there, and then it just continued throughout. So there is no way that any of that comes off without a hitch, without a core group of
Dedicated
employees,
people, yeah.
dedicated team members, and that's
And
what
lots
we
of
are.
planning. Sure.
Lots of
And,
planning, but
speaking of team members and all that stuff, I got to complain.
Mhm.
You want to hear my complaint?
Maybe.
I always complain on Donovan Blackburn and Frankie Justice. Those two guys irritate the hell out of me, and I'll tell you the reason why. I went to the Commons with my wife this past weekend on Saturday, and I had to park. I dropped her off at Hobby Lobby, and I had to go to Ulta. Not because of me, obviously, because you could tell by my hair and my face. I don't even know what hair stuff is or makeup is. And then I had to go to Petco to get something for my dog. I had to park almost to Texas Roadhouse because there were so many people in there. And I get so mad at Donovan Blackburn and Frankie Justice for doing that. That was their idea.
Shame on them.
Shame on them for bringing commerce here
And having a vision.
and having a vision.
Right.
Damn those people.
I know. The thing about the Commons,
I'm saying that facetiously. I
Right.
love both of them to death, but that vision was so there to have that 18 years ago to bring that. And, Frankie, I used to call him Mumbles. He used to sit there and I could see him just, Donovan, we need to put a plaza here and put people who bring people, make it happen. And Donovan said, okay. And he got it done.
yeah,
And, I say that facetiously, but it was so, and I counted cars, license plates from all over Ohio, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, all coming in here. And then guess what? At 3:00 in the afternoon, I tried to go to Texas Roadhouse. I had to wait.
Yeah.
I went to Applebee's. There's a long line there. And with the Drakes, I just barely got in the Drakes, sat at the bar, my wife and I. We had a quick appetizer and left because the crowd was coming. So, this small little town, but friendly service, good things going on and all that stuff. So that was what happened in the past. What do we got coming up, Jill?
So we have a lot coming up.
Yes,
This
we
is
do.
when I really
Oh, the tire cleanup was great too, by the
let
way.
me tell you, let me just talk a little bit about
Yeah.
the tire cleanup for just a minute, and give so much credit to Lisa Pinson and Chuck and Robert Helvey and all of the people who have such a heart for cleaning up our river.
Sure.
These are not tires that were thrown in the river
Last week.
2 weeks ago.
These are
These
30
are
years old.
from decades ago. So this is our third year.
You like football.
U Pike football. Chris Elliott that comes with them
Right.
every time that they're there. So 2 days, a couple, when it was happening, we had probably 30 to 40 football players come. They wade down in the water and they physically pull the tires up out of the mud. They take shovels and crowbars and they dig them up out of there. They stack them up. We haul them away. And on Saturday, the final day, it's a community cleanup. But what happens is we have a lot of community members that come, but we also have a service day from U Pike freshmen
Right.
that Rob Music brings. Some of them are from Eastern Kentucky, the majority are not, and they come and they serve. So it is an incredible effort from so many people to help clean up our river. And it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, I don't have the total number of tires that we removed, but I know the first day there was over 200
Yeah.
pulled out, just one day.
Yeah. The first day there were 225, I think, was pulled out.
So many. But it's just, and I tell them all that how much we appreciate their efforts and them coming to do something they don't necessarily have to do. But this is something that's going to be generational. It's always going to be taking pride in your community and your river and what God's blessed you with. We have to instill in our kids the importance of keeping things clean,
Sure.
keeping things neat, and something that we can use for recreation. I love to go on the river and kayak. It's one of my favorite things to do. I always say when you're in the middle of the river and you're going through the cut through, right before you get there is just a calm and you have no idea that you're right in the middle of the city of Pikeville. And then you go through that enormous project. But it's just tremendous,
It is.
the effort that goes on
It
with
sure
that.
is. And it's a huge community effort, just like you said. And it's done so that like my Taiwanese friend from Seattle who I just met
That's
and
right.
come back and say, what a beautiful place. So I commend you all for doing it. Thank you for the city for doing it. So tell me what's coming up.
So coming up, like I said, we're getting into a really busy time, although we're busy all the time. But the fall months, starting in September, is just crazy, crazy busy because festival season rolls around. Later on in September, we have the Music Moonshine and Makers Festival that we're organizing now. All the information and list of who's performing and who's going to be here on the 19th and 20th will be put out on social media soon. Obviously, Travis Tritt's going to be here on Saturday night for a great concert. If you've never seen Travis Tritt, I'm an old country fan, and he's one of my favorites. He's incredible. So that's a great show to see. And then we'll have music on the plaza at the arena for 2 days, and then vendors and everybody downtown. But also, people love to come in because the weather, we've had great weather
Yes.
the last little bit. So they love to get on the river. They love to go on the trails. Our trails have been manicured and cleaned and all the things, just regular maintenance on those. And so they're beautiful right now.
Right.
And then the horse barn. People tend to forget that we have a horse barn right in that stables, right in the middle of the city. Muddy Boots does a tremendous job. I was up there last weekend, actually, and ran into a group of people. They said they were from Virginia, but upon further investigation, 3 of them were actually from California, visiting their friends in Virginia.
Right.
They wanted to ride horses, couldn't find anybody or anywhere in Virginia close to where they were. So they came to Pikeville and they took rides in the trail, on the trails with our horses, and it was just great. So all of that amps up. And then the foliage comes. I mean, we have people come from all over to look at our mountains during the fall season. It is our absolutely favorite season. We love to see those guests come in. They love to hike. They love to stay in Pikeville, travel to the Break Center State Park, take in the Grand Canyon of the South, all of the whitewater rafters that you can go up on the weekends and hike down to, or stand at the overlook point there at the breaks and see them. So we get really, really busy September, October, and then November, although it's not what we like to think about, but it really is holiday season. So you have Thanksgiving coming up, and then you have Christmas and all the things that brings to the city. So it is just a busy, busy time. Little events here and there. We have a couple other Food Truck Fridays to come in.
There's one more Main Street Live, I think.
One more. And then Food Truck Fridays
Food
also on
Truck
that day.
Friday. So that's great. Well, what we've got a lot of things happening in the city of Pikeville, continuously happening. And like you said, we're getting into the busy season. I don't know if it can get more busy than it has been. And with the weather, on 90, 100 degrees, that's great. Yeah, the weather's breaking a little bit. And just like you said, the trees are going to start turning. Things are happening. There's so much stuff going on. So we want people to visit Pikeville Now. Visit our website to see the things that are going on there. There's a calendar of events that are going to happening. I think you should that'll change here in a couple of days to talk about everything going on in September. Come to downtown Pikeville, visit, enjoy what's going on. The hospitality is fantastic. You'll see the beautiful things, the flowers, the umbrella alley. You've got the lights at night. You've got beautiful things. You've got the app theater that is always has great things going on. You've got something happening at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. And if nothing for better, you owe it to yourself just to look at Jill's smiling face. Smile, Jill. Smiling face, just to say thank you for doing what you do to keep our city clean, to keep our city happening, to make sure that we're progressive, to make sure we're continuing to grow. And you have a great team that you're leading with and working with to make it happen. So thank you for all you do to continue to make little old Pikeville a great place to visit, from somebody as far as Taiwan who came in here at one time
exciting.
and wants to come back with a friend from Seattle because she was so impressed.
Well, I would love to meet her when she comes.
So would I.
I hope she finds you or her friend Lisa or whomever she brings. We have a Lisa, so she could be looking for our Lisa, maybe.
My luck, this lady from Taiwan who tells me she's this little lady is probably this 7'6" pro wrestler with
You never know.
You never know. And hey, Jeff, I'm the girl from Taiwan. So who knows what's going to happen? But again, thank you for your time. Thank you for doing what you're doing. We really appreciate it, and you're doing one heck of a job.
Well, I appreciate that, but you can't do anything without a wonderful team, and we have got the absolute best.
Well, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Thanks, Jill.